Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rambling RunOff. I am your host, Robert Rios, here to give you the sports news that may or may not be important to you, but it's important to me, and to my co-host, Mr. Danny Tan. Danny, say what's up to the people.
What up, y'all? Excuse me if I sound a little different. I am dealing with a sore throat from going to a Tyler, the Creator concert, as well as I got a new mic, so I might sound audio-wise better, but my voice might sound like poo-poo caca, so excuse me for that. And let me know in the comments if I sound really dumb and stupid.
Well, I mean, I hope you don't sound too bad. But on our docket for today, we got I know we're a little bit late to the party, but the Super Bowl did come and go, which the Eagles did win. They defeated the Kansas City Chiefs. We're also going to go into the MLS with the 2025 season preview. Then in the warm-up, we got the NBA All-Star Weekend going up against the NHL's four-way face-off. Excuse me, what do I have here? Four Nations face-off, excuse me. Four Nations face-off. There we go. I got it out. And of course, we got the rundown at the end. So stick around to hear all the great stuff that we got. But Danny, how have you been? You say you went to a concert the other day?
Yes, sir. Tyler, the Creator. Chromacopia, baby. Chromacopia.
How was that, my dude?
Sick. It was awesome. I was a little bummed he didn't bring out anybody as a feature guest, so it was just him, but he puts on an insane live performance. But yeah, 2 hours of craziness. He was sweating his ass off. It was a great live concert at Staples Center, now known as Crypto Arena. But yeah, it was really cool.
Crypto.com Arena, not a sponsor.
Yeah, not a sponsor. Goddamn.
Also, Staples.
We had the hardest time, real. We had the hardest time finding the parking, because I bought tickets for lot 1, but when I used the crypto app, it took me to a parking structure that was under construction, which I guess was formerly lot 1. I was like, oh, okay, so we had to like go around into the one entrance into where the lot 1 is, where if you guys have been to Crypto Arena before and you parked anywhere that's not like right on the like arena parking, you have to walk through like some tunnels and like a little bit of their like underground parking right before you get to the arena. So I was like, no, I got a ticket. We parked right there. I didn't even know. But yeah, it was sick. Really dumb and hard to find, but it ended up being like literally a 1-minute walk in and out. So cool in the end, but probably won't ever do it again. But yeah, bro. What have you been up to?
That's such a guy thing to say. Oh man, all went wrong. One thing went wrong, and that's it.
Yeah, no, real. I felt like I was getting ripped off for a little bit. I was like, dude, we were passing by the lots, and they're like $20, $40. I was like, bro, we paid $60 for this dumbass ticket.
Oh no, yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, but in the end, I was like, dude, okay. I really felt like a VIP, but then I felt really dumb walking past the VIP entrance because obviously we didn't have VIP tickets. I was like, damn, I paid extra for this stupid parking. Saved ourselves like. Didn't even save ourselves a minute.
I'm literally trying to find this parking lot 1 that you're talking about.
Real, and it's really freaking hard to find it. The Crypto.com Arena app sent you to the wrong spot. Not a sponsor, dumbass crypto.
Oh, I know where this is at. Oh, dude, I could have told you where to go easy.
Okay, yes. Yeah, so the parking guy told me where to go easy. But that was after like 10 minutes of looping around trying to find where it was.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you had a good time.
Anyway, yeah, it was a good time. It was awesome.
I guess on my end, what have I done? I went to the Super Bowl. Nah, just kidding. I did not go to the Super Bowl.
Damn, don't be crazy, Rob.
I went to the next best thing. I went to a Super Bowl party.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, me and Danny went with a couple friends, and we had a jolly good time.
Yeah,
hitting the shit, talking the shit.
Yeah. Oh, that was fun. What a halftime show too, huh, Rob?
No, yeah, it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But Danny, are you ready to get this show on the roll?
Let's get it.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, of course, Yeah, we're gonna do a small little recap here. As we just mentioned, we were able to watch the game together. We were able to throw ideas, throw theories. I don't know. I was able to cap on Danny a little bit on his ball knowledge.
Okay, chill. Capping me for what?
Who was our MVP debate?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was so
Which-
crazy. And who was right? Dumbass.
None of us. You were
Yeah,
also
that's true.
wrong.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Philadelphia
get to it.
Eagles defeated the Kansas City Chiefs in convincing fashion, 40-22. The Eagles denied the Chiefs a Super Bowl three-peat with their dominant defense. Once again, it was Super Bowl 59 from New Orleans, Sunday, February 9th. The game was on Fox. If you didn't have Fox, I believe it was on Tubi as well. And as Danny mentioned previously, the halftime performance was by Kendrick Lamar. And Danny, I had the Eagles. Your
Mhm.
head said the Chiefs, but your heart also said the Eagles, to
Yeah.
my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good game. Danny, what'd you think about it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone expected a blowout like we saw. Yeah. I mean, I thought it would be a lot closer because, like I said last time, I was gonna say last week. Yeah, I thought the Chiefs would do much better because they showed that they can stop a heavy run offense like they did against the Bills, but apparently not. They got freaking steamrolled, and I think just the defensive line did such a good job of crowding and putting pressure on Pat Mahomes and the receivers. Even Travis Kelce had a hard time getting the ball. Even when he was open, I think that defensive line just covered so much that Pat Mahomes was not comfortable throwing over the top because he was afraid he would get spotted. So, yeah, shout out to the defensive line, which Rob, you might have something to say about. Yeah, they did really well. I just did not expect Jalen Hurts to be so efficient. Watching him was like, that's what you should see out of Pat Mahomes. Couple of tosses here and there, a little bit of run game, handing off confidently to your runners. Yeah, it was just a great game for the Eagles, but an incredible blowout.
No, yeah, it was how would you say, a full played game by the Eagles. Going into it, we talked about how they could beat you numerous ways. They could run the ball, throw the ball, play outstanding defense. Shit, even their kicking was on point as well. Mr. Elliott was on point with every one of his kicks through the uprights.
Yeah.
But yeah, their defense, and the crazy part about their defense is that they didn't even blitz once. All that was just
which is so crazy.
4-man, 3-man rushes. So shout out congratulations to the Eagles and their defense. They were able to get to Mahomes multiple times, and they shut them down. I believe, if I remember correctly, I didn't write this one down. This one's off the top of my head. The Chiefs had the ball for a total of 23 minutes in the game. So take that as you will. And I guess the old saying goes, defense wins championships. Danny, do you want me to go over some stats with you real quick?
Hit me with it, Rob.
So yeah, Jalen Hurts, he threw for 2 touchdowns and ran for a score on a tush push, which also earned him MVP honors. He was 17-22 with a total of 221 yards. Once again, the 2 TDs, and unfortunately, he did have the 1 interception, which I did kind of get a little spooked. I'm like, oh, dang, you threw that pick. Here come the Chiefs, but they weren't able to recuperate that well. Like we mentioned, the Eagles' defense was super dominant. The defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, like I said, they were so dominant that they didn't have to hope and rely on their offense, and more importantly, Saquon Barkley. And speaking of Saquon Barkley, he had like a couple good carries. I think his longest was like 10 yards. But even within his few carries, he's a game-changing running back, and he finished with 57 yards total, I believe, and that was just enough to break Terrell Davis's record for yards rushing in the season with the playoffs included. So he's like I think I wrote it down somewhere. I don't know if this is the correct one. I wrote it. He's at least at or over 2,489 rushing yards including the postseason. Oh, yeah, most all time in a single season. So, congratulations to him getting himself into the record books. And then on the other side for the Chiefs, we had Patrick Mahomes. He was 21 of 32, 257 yards. And when it's crazy, I guess like those touchdowns that they scored, they were so mediocre that when I was reading like his stats, I couldn't believe that he scored 3 touchdowns, or that he threw for 3 touchdowns at least. And of course he had the 2 INTs. And a little bit more information for you here. Mahomes was 8-0 against Vic Fangio's defense before the longtime coordinator and former Broncos head coach outcoached Andy Reid in this game, capping his first season with his hometown team. Andy Reid fell to 3-3 in Super Bowls, including a loss that he had with the Eagles when he was coaching there. And once again, talking about the defense, the Eagles sacked Mahomes 6 times, the most in his career, including 2.5 by Josh Sweat. And they did it without blitzing a single time. Fangio did not call a blitz at any point during this matchup, which is low-key insane. And the fact that we're watching the broadcast as well, and we're like almost into the 4th quarter, and Tom Brady's like, yeah, they haven't even blitzed yet. I was like, what?
Yeah,
that was crazy. That's insane. No, yeah, that's a crazy stat. And I guess we'll kind of go through the motions here. We got, as we mentioned before, Jalen Hurts. He got the scoring going with the tush push from the 1. I think they almost had scored previously to that. I think it got called, but I don't know. Speaking off the top of my head here. So that's how they got to the 1. And then, of course, old school Philly, you just got to push your man over the line, and that's how we got the game going. And then they were able to go up 10-0 after Jake Elliott hit a 48-yard field goal. He had a couple of those in this game.
Yeah, multiple.
Sweat and excuse my pronunciation, Jalix Hunt sacked Mahomes on consecutive plays on that drive. And then continuing, Mahomes then had to roll out and make an errant throw that was ultimately picked by Mr. Dejan. And then, yeah, that was probably the nail that sealed up this coffin, because he took that pick and he returned it for 38 yards, and that's how this game got to 17-0. Usually 17-0, most teams, they can come back from that. It's doable. I mean, we've seen it before in Super Bowls. I'm not going to name names, but it looks bad, but it's not the end of the world. But it was Mahomes' first pick 6 in 21 career playoff games, and it also ended a streak of 297 straight passes without an interception. But also, again, that streak continued. His pick streak continued as a linebacker, all-pro linebacker, Zach Bond picked off Mahomes again late in the second quarter. And then after that, Hurts connected with A.J. Brown on a 12-yard touchdown pass for a 24-0 lead. So at 24-0, I was like, okay, I think this game is still in reach for the Chiefs. I don't know. What did you think, Danny?
At that time?
Yeah, when it's 24-0.
That exact moment in time? Yeah, I thought that shit was over. I know the announcers, excuse me, the announcers were saying, this is exactly the moment where Tom Brady came back in that, it's like 28-3, whatever the hell.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Like down, like in the previous Super Bowl. I was like, no, this is not happening. Just the way that the Eagles' defensive line was, what the frick am I saying? Yeah, they were smothering Mahomes. It just wasn't gonna happen. And you knew after they came back from halftime, after the first play where that first drive failed, you're like, dude, the game is over. And then really they didn't have a truly successful drive until we're like late in the third, and then they followed that up with a crazy Hail Mary touchdown in the fourth. And that was the game. That was the whole ball game. So shout out to Pat Mahomes. You ruined my Super Bowl squares. How dare you? That's so crazy. But yeah. By halftime, I think majority of people who were watching, especially people who were not following football for a majority of the time, you already knew this was a tough game to watch. And not only that, having it be so one-sided, even though most people I think were rooting for the Eagles because people love to hate, but it was just a tough thing to watch as Mahomes shit the bed, basically. But yeah, we'll see if Travis Kelce even comes back next year. Rumors of him maybe retiring, Rob.
No, yeah. We'll get to that in just a moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have been hearing
before we
swirling.
move on,
What were you gonna say?
can we discuss just a little argument about the MVP, Super Bowl MVP, before you move forward?
Oh my goodness.
So what did you
Okay.
say? What did you say, Rob? Go ahead.
I was saying give it to someone on the defense because their defense is what
Mhm.
kind of won them this game here. And then
Yeah,
Danny, what was your MVP theory / request?
My thing was if it's not going to Jalen Hurts, which I was saying it probably was, they should give it to Saquon Barkley, who's on drives where Jalen Hurts was not able to gain anything. He gained yardage. And I was telling Rob, there's no freaking chance that they gave it to anyone on the defensive line. When's the last time a defensive lineman has won Super Bowl MVP? That's so crazy.
I don't know. I could look it up, but I'm pretty sure not too long ago.
My guess
I don't know.
is before
It's not
the
outlandish,
2000s.
Danny.
My guess is
it's
before
not
the 2000s,
outlandish.
for sure. Now, I mean, in today's game, in today's modern offensive heavy, like slanted, skewed world where we only look at the people who score, the people who win, I think it is a little crazy. Unless it was a extraordinarily low scoring game, then I think you can make an argument for that. But it was not that.
Only 10 have been Super Bowl defensive MVPs.
When
And
was
one
the
of
last
them
one?
was, I think it might have been Von Miller.
Who that was that, and when was that?
Von Miller, linebacker, when he was for the Broncos in Super Bowl 50.
Oh, you know what? That's pretty recent.
6 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and 1 pass defended earned him Super Bowl MVP award.
Damn.
And according to this article that I'm looking at, his performance is widely regarded as one of the best individual defensive performance in the history of the Super Bowl.
That's
Boom.
some good shit. Boom.
Suck it, Danny.
Okay.
That's what I was
Fuck
saying.
you
I'm like,
too,
it
bro.
can happen,
I mean, it can.
but we're both
did
kind
it?
of wrong. So they
Nah.
gave it to Jalen. I mean, I wouldn't say he had like the craziest game. His stats aren't crazy, but they're consistent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I mean, if you do look at it again, yeah, the 2 TDs, the 2 passing TDs, the 1 rushing TD, like, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
But to get us on track here, 24-0 at halftime. Hurts then threw a perfect 46-yard TD pass to Devontae Smith to make it 34-0 late in the third. There was also another field goal in there. But I also like to point out his receivers, they wanted to play too. Remember one of them, I think it was A.J. Brown. He was like getting annoyed because they weren't throwing him the ball.
Yeah.
And then he immediately scored a touchdown. I was like, bruh, these guys could literally do no wrong. But I mean, once it was 34-0, it was already, too little too late. Mahomes did fire a 24-yard TD pass to Xavier Worthy, avoiding the shutout. They did go for 2. It failed. He then threw two late, basically nonchalant, meaningless touchdown passes. One to DeAndre Hopkins and another back to Worthy. But that was that. That was the game. Nothing too much there. And then I guess one other thing we could talk real quick, Danny. The referees were not too involved in this match. There was a 32-yard pass from Hurts to Brown, literally in the first drive of the game, that was negated for offensive pass interference. Most of the analysts were not in favor of that call. but there was some hand fighting. Brown did shove his hands into the defender's face. I mean, they were both kind of jostling for the ball. My problem with the play was that the defender, like, I don't know, in soccer terms, dove or finessed the call a little bit. I can see why they called it, but I wouldn't. Maybe I'd called it on the field because I don't know. I didn't think it was that aggressive. I don't know. What did you think about the performance of the referees this game?
Yeah, other than the couple of early calls, like, yeah, I think we're talking about the same play. Yeah, that was pass interference on the offense, right?
Yeah, it was literally the first 4th and 2 play of the game.
Yeah. I could see where, because the hand, it was a regular stiff arm, but it did go right into the helmet and then ended up in the face mask. But I can see. I mean, other than that, they pretty much stayed out of the game. They let the players play, let football do its thing. The other calls were just obvious, like, watching the replays and the footage, you just could not argue that the refs were getting in there. Yeah, I think it was pretty fair officiating, and on the biggest stage, like, you really couldn't mess up that much. Like, I think regular football fans and even very casual fans saw in the postseason, there's a lot of calls going Pat Mahomes' way, and if you were gonna do that in the Super Bowl to hand him a three-peat, there would have been some crazy outrage.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, luckily, yeah, it was a consistently called game after that. Because right when that happened, everyone was like, "Oh man, here we go again." But no, it was really good. So, props to the officiating crew. But Danny, we got like 2 more minutes. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes.
Okay.
To talk about the halftime show. What'd you think?
Okay.
Because you're a big Kendrick Lamar fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will just cut you when we
Okay.
were at time.
2 minutes. You let me know.
Go.
Yeah, it was crazy watching a Canadian man get murdered on live TV, skewered. Yeah, I mean, the biggest question was, would he have played Not Like Us? He did, obviously. Yeah, I mean, it was really just a big FU to Drake, which is really funny.
It basically kind of was.
Yeah, this might have been the greatest conclusion to a rap beef ever. Because how more perfectly can you, even if it had ended either way, but to end it on a Super Bowl performance is incredible. And the way that Kendrick looked into the camera when he said, "Hey Drake," diabolical, absolutely diabolical. Arrest that man. That's true. It was too much
that
joy
little
in his
smirk was everything.
In his smirk,
He's like,
real. It was messed up. I was like,
even he couldn't
him.
contain himself.
Oh yeah, I mean, I bet you could not replicate that amount of dopamine that you get on the biggest stage, directly in the camera, in front of hundreds of millions of people live. Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, also shout out to the performer who put out a Sudan flag and a Palestinian flag. Shout out to you. No charges pressed. Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was just a great, especially for people of the culture, you like Kendrick or whatnot. I think it was great. He hit all of his hits. He hit some from the new album. He had, he teased that big moment. It wasn't a huge, very flashy Super Bowl that we've seen before, like Beyonce or even Rihanna, where the set pieces and the stage moves and everything is really crazy and dope. It was relatively simple when compared to those, but just the cultural aspect of it was impactful. That's all I gotta say, bro. There it is.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, that's good. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, yeah, it was. I guess like more subtle. Some people were not liking it because it wasn't this big extravaganza, which I guess a lot of people were getting used to. But to be fair, they can't all be like that. Also, we're kind of running out of big name stars. I was watching some clip of some random dude. They were like talking, and it's like, how come we can't have Lady Gaga? And the guy's like, she already did it. He was like, yeah. I'm like, bruh, like we've already had the Beyoncés, the Bruno Mars,
yeah,
the Who, the Black Eyed Peas. Like we have everything. Like this was the most viewed halftime show since Michael Jackson. at the Rose Bowl in like 1994 or 95, something like that.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
And
Like,
you brought up, Rob, that you like the Prince halftime show more, which arguably, I mean,
that
looking back
one's
at it, that
classic.
it's a legendary performance.
It's in the rain, a thunderstorm. He told the
Yep.
producers make it rain harder.
Yeah.
He's like, I ain't
And
no
the
wimp.
rain timing was perfect as well, right into Purple Rain. Crazy.
I mean, yeah, and then so fun fact, when he goes really quick, we're on overtime here, but when he's playing his guitar and he goes, "Can I play this guitar?" Like I think he said that jokingly because he knew, okay, it's electric guitar, water and electric guitar don't mix. Let's see if it works. That's why he says, "Let me see if I can play this guitar."
Yeah.
And then it works.
More of a technical question than hype the crowd up question.
Yeah, but it still sounded cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, that was it. I mean, the Super Bowls were okay. It was fun trying to guess what they were because some of the commercials are being mysterious now. So like we're all like, "What is this? What's this commercial?" And
Yeah.
Danny, your girlfriend was like, "Tom Brady's like a robot," and then the commercial for
Dude.
Energizer pops up.
Yeah, that was crazy. That
Dude,
was insane.
low-key
I don't know how she
insane.
called that.
I don't know. That was fucking hilarious.
That was so
though.
crazy. Yeah. Literally. Because it was so funny because it was him on the broadcast first, and then it cut to one commercial, and then right when she finished saying it, the following commercial was that one where he was literally the robot for Energizer.
Yeah, dude,
So
that's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah. Real
Yeah,
shit.
it was a good time. We had some
yeah.
pizza, some wings, some
Mhm.
brewskis.
Shout out Big Q and Big D for hosting us.
Yeah, thank you for having that little shindig. But
Yeah.
last few things I will leave you guys with. Fun facts. The Green Bay Packers are the only NFL team to win 3 championships in a row, doing it from 1929 to 1931 and 1965 to 1967. And then, Danny, do you want to read this last one down here, or do you want me to do it?
Hit it.
The NBA's Los Angeles Lakers from the year 2000 to the year 2002, led by Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, are the last team in the major American professional leagues to win 3 straight titles.
Damn.
The end. And the NFL
Shout
season
out. Rest in
is
peace.
over. But yeah, it was a good season. Looking forward to next year. And yeah, that's it. I don't know, Danny, do you have any closing thoughts as well?
No. Yeah. Biggest televised event of the year. We will see what the NFL has for us next year. When is the NFL draft, Robert?
Oh, that is a good question. I did not write that down, though.
The NFL draft will be coming.
The NFL draft.
Um,
Why do you ask me questions that you know you don't see on here? The NFL draft will take place April 24th to
There it is.
April 26th in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The main events
There you go.
at Lambeau Field and Titletown. The
All right,
Tennessee
so-
Titans currently hold the number 1 pick.
We'll see how the NFL draft and any offseason trades shake up the league. But yeah, that's all I got on football, Rob.
Oh, just to let you know, my notes say take a shot and note Danny sucks. I did not write that, by the way.
Okay. You wrote all the notes. So
I did not write this.
That
If
is
I show you this,
crazy.
this is not my writing. And you would probably guess who wrote this.
God damn it. All right.
All
Anyway,
right. Yep, we're good. I have a few things on here I was going to say, but we're scrapping it. So
damn.
it's all good in the hood. But yeah, it was a good game. We're going to move on now to our second topic here. Danny's favorite topic. The MLS is around very
Hell
close
yeah.
this week as of this recording. The MLS starts its 2025 campaign now with 30 teams in the league. And we're going to do a little preview here for y'all. Yeah, the MLS kickoff is super duper near. Inter Miami will face off against New York City FC at 11 a.m. I believe Eastern time, if I wrote it down correctly here, on Apple TV on February 22nd. And the defending champs LA Galaxy host new to the league team San Diego FC at 4 p.m. Pacific time on February 23rd on Apple TV to start off the league's new Apple TV extravaganza of Sunday night football, or their Sunday night game of the week. So yeah, look for possibly some polls I'm gonna do for that, because I think that's what the MLS was missing with their Apple TV deal, a primetime game. Because Danny, I'm pretty sure, I know you haven't watched a lot of soccer, but this is probably the reason why. Have you ever noticed there was no primetime game?
Yeah, they had like early afternoon games and whatnot. One, I was not tuning into Apple TV for primetime TV, but yeah, there was just no option for it before.
No, yeah, so they're going to start doing that. I know the Galaxy, of course, since they are the defending champs, will be having a slew of these games. Obviously, this game is at 4 p.m. Pacific, but if I do my math correctly, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 p.m. in the East, that is your nightly game on the East Coast. And, yeah, Danny, for funsies, do you mind going onto the MLS's schedule, please?
Yes, sir, I will.
Because I would like to go over some matchups, and I want to see, just pick your brain, just to, do a little, look at the logo, look at the team name,
Wow.
What do you think, who's going to win?
A lot of games
What's the
this
tie?
weekend. All on one day, on Saturday.
Well, I mean, it is opening week.
Wow, I mean, you think they spread it all over a couple of days, you know what I mean?
Oh, no. I think Apple, well, I mean, this was kind of like Apple's, I think their mistake last year, which is they were stacking a lot of games at the same time. Like, they were trying to do kind of like the NFL. That's what they were missing. Like, they were doing, like how the NFL, like, are to be, like, morning games and afternoon games, but there was no primetime game, So it was like, you're going to watch all these games at this time or no games.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, obviously, with Apple TV, you could watch the recording of it. But, yeah, so do you have it open, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, we do still have some games on Fox. That's the LAFC versus Minnesota matchup at 1:30 p.m. What do you think? Who do you got?
LAFC all day.
Okay. Right off the bat. All right, cool. Breaking my heart.
Okay, come on.
We got to go to your favorite team.
Columbus
the
Crew?
Columbus Crew
Yeah, damn, wait.
versus the Chicago Fire.
Yeah, that's Columbus all day.
Just
all day.
Just to let you know, I do have some notes on them that I'd like to point out to you later. But
Okay.
they did give up / get a few people,
Uh-oh.
but they should still be good. What do you
Okay.
think?
As you know, I'm a fake fan of the MLS, so I have no clue yet. Once we review it, I'll have an opinion, but I don't know. Columbus Crew all day, every day.
All right. Long
Till the
story
day I
short,
die.
Columbus Crew is a top 4 team in the top 4 team in the Eastern Conference, and the Chicago Fire were garbage last year.
Yeah. Oh,
If that
I
helps
know-
you with your
I
answer.
have no. Well, Columbus Crew, come on.
The
I had no
Columbus
question
Crew
about
were
this.
like 1 or 2 games away from being the number 1 team in the league last season.
Right. I had no
Does that help
question
you
about
out?
them beating Chicago. But
They should beat
their
Chicago.
move- Oh yeah. No, I'm saying the moves might affect them for the rest of the season.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to point out too, Chicago did get a new coach. They got former U.S. men's national team coach Greg Berhalter. They have made some signings. I believe they signed a striker, I think a striker. I'm not 100% sure. From Europe to help them out. So, and I heard it was like a really big deal. So, let's see what happens. And there was also a rumor that they were trying to get Neymar, but don't quote me on that because that was a really big rumor at the time. You know Neymar at least, right?
Yeah. Come on, Rob. Give
Yeah.
me a little bit of credit. Come on.
All right. I know you don't live under a rock. I'm just making sure.
Come on, Rob.
Another matchup I'm interested in seeing is the runner-ups from MLS Cup. New York. Ooh, I almost said the wrong one. New York Red Bulls against FC Cincinnati. Red Bulls have a consistent lineup. Cincinnati gave up Luciano Acosta, which we'll get to a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna see. I'm not gonna pick who, but I'm interested to see how both of these teams react after letting go of and getting new pieces to their teams. So I want to see how they do. If Cincinnati can still stay consistent, and if the Red Bulls can show it was not a fluke, or crumble back down to size a little bit. And of course, the big game, one of the bigger games over the weekend, Inter Miami, New York City FC. I think the league is hoping that Miami can at least make it to at least the Eastern Conference Final, maybe also MLS Cup. And I mean, of course, their hopes and dreams and wishes would be that they win MLS Cup. They got a new head coach. Messi is Messi. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And then we also got, let me see, what's another good matchup here? San Jose versus Salt Lake. San Jose, not very good last year. Salt Lake started out really strong, but then started to fizzle out towards the end. Pointing out this game because San Jose, they hired Bruce Arena. They started bringing in different pieces into their team. Bruce Arena, he's a long-time MLS head coach. Won MLS, well, not MLS Cup, but MLS, well, yeah, MLS, that first initial MLS championship was DC United. Then he also won with the LA Galaxy. He had a really good starting point at New England, and now it looks like he's taking his soccer mind to San Jose, who have just not been good over the past couple of years. So let's see what he can do there. Seattle versus Charlotte is also another good matchup. Seattle plugging in a couple new names. They still have a lot of their older guys in there. So let's see if they can bounce back this season. I mean, they made it to the Western Conference Championship. But they are getting a lot older. So let's see if this slightly rejuvenated team can, get it going again. And then Sunday on the 23rd, at 1 p.m. Pacific time, we got Portland versus Vancouver. Right off the bat, we got a Cascadia matchup. So that should be good. And then Portland, who just sold one of their players for $12 million. I'll get to that later.
Damn.
Yes. $12 million in cash, which I'll explain to you a little bit later, Danny, why that's a big deal.
Okay.
And then finally, to close off the nightcap with the Sunday night game of the week, LA Galaxy hosts San Diego FC. Danny, who do you got?
That is a bit of a tough one. Well, I always like the San Jose logo. So I'll pick San Jose. The Quakes.
San Jose? What are you talking about, bro?
Wait, is that what you just said? Oh, sorry, San Diego. Oh, fuck, my bad.
San Diego, bro. Dang,
my bad.
Head.
Okay.
That's later on in the season, bro. I mean, that's going to be a good matchup considering
yeah.
Bruce Arena used to coach the Galaxy, so
Bro.
That'd be... and now he's coaching their rival.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, of course, I got to take LA Galaxy. Come on. Defending champs. What are you going to do?
No, yeah. Like, I don't think San Diego... I mean, they'll go... I think they'll put up a good fight. I'd be really shocked if San Diego walks away with the dub. But...
But yeah, I mean, as the defending champ, too, you're going to curry a lot of extra energy from other players just to prove that, they're at the level where they can take on the defending champs. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, they have Chucky Lozano. I'm forgetting. I think it was it Jordy Mihailovic? I'm forgetting who it was. Oh, look at the Latorre, who also has represented the men's national team. They signed him, and I forgot who else they had signed. But yeah, I think they're just gonna try to do their best because I mean, this is their first official league game. They've done some preseason games, but those don't count. So yeah, this is their, I guess, warm up to their home opener at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego. So yeah, we'll see what this team has to offer to the league as the 30th MLS team. We're gonna do some small team previews here. I have a lot of info here, but we're not gonna read everything. I'm not gonna bore you guys to death. But of course, I gotta start out with the defending champs, the LA Galaxy. Some of their strengths, they got both depth and experience, like at every position on the field. Right now they are going to miss two DPs who are hurt, and those are their highly skilled players, by the way. But their defense is pretty solid now, with Yoshida and Garces back there now. We'll just have to wait and see if anyone can break through. But like as I mentioned, a weakness would be that their designated players, Joseph Paintsel, hurt his quad. He's going to be out allegedly 6 to 8 weeks. And Ricky Pooch, who tore his ACL in the Western Conference Final. They're going to have to manage without him. I don't know. According to Galaxy pundits and journalists, podcasters, maybe August, maybe September, you'll see him. Who knows what this team will deliver throughout the year. They do have a lot of games. They're going to be playing in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, Leagues Cup. And yeah, we'll have to see how far they go. According to the MLS's site, when I was researching this, they think that Marco Royce is going to have to pick up the slack, even though he's 35. I don't think they'll have to rely on him. I think that is a very far gone theory for the MLS people to say, but I mean, they might know a little bit more than I do, but I'm pretty sure they have people. You get Paintsel back, you should be good. People might start attacking Gabriel Peck a lot, but it'll be okay. But yeah, I think they should be fine. But yeah, some people, like I said, Danny, a lot of teams have have let him go. A lot of people, especially the Galaxy, not because of player personnel, but because of money. They lost MLS Cup MVP Gaston Brugman. He's in Nashville now. Mark Delgado got moved over to El Tráfico as the first direct trade between the teams. Their top striker, Dejan Joveljic, he had 21 goals, including the game winner in the MLS Cup. He's now in Sporting Kansas City. He got moved for $4 million in a cash for player trade, which was the first in the league, by the way, Danny. And then also they moved Jalen Neal to Montreal. The Galaxy however, did sign Sean Davis, Matthias Jorgensen, a.k.a. Zanka, and they got Christian Ramirez from the Columbus Crew. He's a SoCal guy. He got him via the trade. He has scored over 50 goals in the league from his time at Minnesota, LAFC, and then Columbus. And now he moves over to the Galaxy. And the Galaxy also picked up Lucas Sanabria. He's a younger guy, and they are rumored to have picked up Matías Nascimento. I believe that might be a loan deal, and most likely a U22. Their opponents that they had in the MLS Cup with the New York Red Bulls, with their strength is the crew and their squad that they have around. They have a specific way of playing, more or less 90% of the time. That's how they want to play. That's how they're going to control the game. Their weakness, their depth. MLS is thinking, I was once again researching, they think Forsberg in his mid-30s. I don't know what the heck. They always focus on one thing. I don't understand. But they have decent players. What's his name? Sean Lewis. I think that's his name. He was really good last season, so I think he should be like their shining light. But they did lose John Tolkien. They did lose Andres Reyes. They did lose Dante Van Zier. On the other side, they picked up Raheem Edwards, Alexander Hack, Tim Parker, who's an MLS veteran. So those are pretty decent pickups. And then Danny, we got to talk a little bit of Inter Miami, of course, because why not? Of course, their strength. They have the GOAT, Messi,
the man who puts the butts in the seats.
Yeah, exactly. And his three closest buddies. But they have made some moves. They've loaded up on young South American talent once again. And, I think they might be bringing up some people from their academy. Also, they did pick up someone from the Super Draft as well. And I think they did beef up their defense too. This might be their deepest MLS team up to date. Their weakness, any turnover last year was any turnover. Can't talk. Any turnover last year was the death of the team. They had zero ability to stop the ball in transition. That'll still be the game plan this year, probably, for any team that goes up against them, just trying to hit on transition. They did lose Leo Capana. Let me see who else is important. Diego Gomez is gone, and they also lost Matias Rojas as well. Key signings, they signed Tadeo Alande, Maxi Falcon, and Gonzalo Lujan, and Fafa Pico, who I think he's an MLS veteran as well, and he's been speaking out. He's liking his time playing with Miami so far. And then, of course, we got to go to your team, Danny. The Columbus Crew, their strength, they play the best ball in the league, arguably. I mean, besides the reigning champs, Inter Miami, whatever you may say, they're, like I was trying to explain to you, they're a top-notch team. Okay, if you put the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference, they're going to finish top 5 at least. And, they've been incredible, at imposing themselves at their opponents every time they get biggest games, no matter what it is, MLS, CONCACAF, Open Cup, whatever. Plus their head coach, Wilfred Nancy, he's been a brilliant head coach during his time there. There's been rumors that people want him, so let's just see where this journey takes them. The weakness and the past 2 windows, they've sold their best defensive mid, their best player, and their best pure goal scorer. So I think they've only replaced. I think they've replaced not anybody really. So we're gonna have to see what this squad is made of now. As I mentioned, they lost Cucho Hernandez, they lost Alexandro Matan, they lost Christian Ramirez, and Yaya Boa also made a move to LAFC as well. And then the only signing I could find was they signed Lassi Lapelianen. He's a Finnish international. He joined as a free agent, spending the past 6 seasons with Montreal. He can play numerous positions across the midfield. And then some big moves that I've been hinting at during this time. FC Cincinnati acquired Evander from Portland Timbers. The Timbers received $12 million guaranteed and up to $150 in incentives, plus a sell-on trade percentage from Cincinnati. FC Dallas acquired Lucho Acosta from FC Cincinnati. At this moment, I did not find any information on the trade or acquisition. Houston acquired Jack McGlynn from Philadelphia for a cash trade of $2.1 million. Philly can receive $1.3 million more if certain performance-based metrics are made. Kansas City, as I mentioned, got Dejan Joveljic from the Galaxy. He was bought for $4 million. And then Atlanta United have gone over Miguel Almiron from Newcastle. He returns to the club as an original member when they entered the league, I believe, in 2017, 2018. And he was a MLS Cup winner when he was there in Atlanta. So, yeah, it's going to be a good time. And, Danny, I know I mentioned that cash for trade thing. You want to know why it's a big deal?
Let me know, Rob.
So, basically, the way it works in MLS, there's different statuses for each player, or at least the payment that they're getting. You're either going to be a designated player, which is a top player, a TAM player, a targeted allocation. You're using targeted allocation money, or you're going to be a GAM player, which you're being paid general allocation money. So within that, basically imagine, and these are not my words, by the way. Don't quote me. I was explaining that it's like you go to Chuck E. Cheese, you use your real money to pay for fake money. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So, like, let's say you give me, or let's say a third party gives me $4 million. I can only convert 1.5 of that into actual usable money in my dealings in the MLS. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So, the reason why this is a big deal is because literally halfway through the offseason, the MLS was like, hey, for at least 2 players per team, you can do whatever you want. But, of course, they couldn't just say that, so it had to be cash for trade terminology. But, basically, the cash for trade is what happens in regular soccer. Like, you could just throw like, hey, we want that player. We'll give you X amount of money for his contract, and then we'll pay him. We'll sign him and pay him for whatever much, you know.
Yeah.
So that's basically kind of
Sorry.
what went down here, for like the Galaxy and for FC Cincinnati and Portland. That's why it's like a big deal. 12 million guaranteed
Damn.
for FC Cincinnati and Portland.
I mean, it's a good
But
deal
only
too,
for
if you're
two.
giving up a. Yeah.
Yeah, but only for 2.
Yeah. All right.
It's a start because they have a lot of salary restrictions. That's the reason why it's a little hard to explain.
Mm.
But yeah, Danny, are you excited for the MLS season this year?
Hell yeah! I say it every year. This year, I'm gonna watch. For sure.
I know. I find we're finally able to watch a Super Bowl together. We need to watch a game together.
Yeah, real shit.
How? I have no idea. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, the one MLS
good.
game I've seen is because of you. Watched it in person. It was sick.
Yes.
Yeah, so
So,
I gotta
like,
watch.
we
more
need to
this
sit
year,
down
for
like
sure.
at home, like with some brewskis, some
Oh, hell yeah.
nachos,
We gotta hit it.
and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Legit.
I'm looking forward to a great MLS season once again. I hope the information I gave you was salvageable, usable. I know it was a lot, but yeah, MLS 2025. Here we go. But Danny, are you ready to move on in our programming?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are at the warm-up. And this week's warm-up, we have the NBA versus NHL All-Star Games. This past weekend, we had NBA All-Star Weekend, which we had the dunk contest, skills challenge, rising stars, celebrity games. And then they changed up the actual All-Star Game, which was a 4-team tournament. Rising stars team. They had celebrity coaches, team leaders. We had Team Shaq, Team Chuck.
Team Kenny.
Yeah, Team Kenny, and the other one was Candace Parker with the Rising Stars.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the winner of the Rising Stars tournament, which
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, as you said, Danny, when we were talking about this about a week ago, you said, "Who gives a shit about the All-Star Game? No one's watching that shit."
real.
And I believe you were correct, sir,
Yeah.
on that statement. I guess really quick, Team Shaq, which was Team Shaq OG, defeated Team Chuck Global Stars 45-21 in the final. Fun fact, LeBron did not play. Allegedly, he hurt his ankle, and he was like, I'm not doing
Yeah.
that. And I guess the most exciting part was Mac McClung in the dunk contest.
Oh, yeah.
He won his 3rd consecutive dunk contest, by the way. He
Mhm.
reverse dunked over a car.
Yep. He kind of recreated the Blake Griffin dunk over a Kia.
But it
except
was
this
10
time
times better.
he jumped over the tallest part of the car, not just the hood. Dumbass Blake Griffin. But yeah, it was incredible. He jumped over and
Fucking
reversed it. So it was
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, he crash landed, but hey, man, it went in. It don't matter how it go in as long as it go in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was it. Like, I literally don't have nothing of importance to tell you about this game. Danny, were you able to watch anything about this?
I mean, I watched clips here and there. Yeah, I watched clips of the dunk contest. I watched the Rising Star. I watched some of the All-Star games, like the mini tournaments. Trey, being a Trey Young fan, I watched Trey Young throw the ball off of the back of Kyrie, nutmeg Steph Curry, and then give a behind the back assist to Victor Wembanyama. That was pretty cool. But yeah,
Steph Curry was given MVP honors, by the way.
yes, he was. But yeah, I saw a lot of people complaining, and a viral tweet from a basketball guy. Oh gosh, I forgot his name already. Shit. But y'all know what I'm talking about. He broke down
It's okay,
the
but
actual.
What do you say?
He broke down the actual minutes of basketball played and broadcast on TV, and within the 3-hour event, there was like 24 minutes of basketball or something like that. Like total like 36 minutes of basketball total, like being played, on screen.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it was interesting to try a new format. Whatever, let's switch it back. East West. I saw some players suggesting that, a U.S. versus international format would be interesting, and they'd be down for that. So anything that gives the players incentive so that the game itself is competitive and becomes a better product for us, the fans, and is just a celebration of basketball and still is showcasing the best players. They're not going to try their super hardest, but at least there's a little bit of competition in it. I think that would be extremely beneficial for the NBA.
No, yeah. I think that is, you hit it right on the target there. 'Cause I was watching PTI and they were talking about it. 'Cause on the other hand, this week as well, where the NHL, they decided not to have a All-Star game per se, but I guess what do you call it? Dang it, not exhibition, but like a showing of international play, which they called the Four Nations Face-Off, which featured USA, Canada, Finland, and I think the other one was Sweden, I think, off the top of my head. So yeah, I mean, I know we talked about it on one of our water break posts I had posted up, and yeah, a lot of hockey enthusiasts were watching this because they were playing competitively, and I think what it was too, the spirit of representing their country was like a very well needed injection into the game, because they were having the same problem too. Like, of course, it's cool when you're actually there, like, oh, the skills challenge, the actual game, like, hey, there's my favorite player playing next to my other favorite player, like, that's cool.
Yeah.
But as a consumer on television, it was not the best product to witness, to hear, to see. So, they weren't getting the ratings, they weren't getting views, they weren't getting the right publicity for it. So they switched to this format. So yeah, this Four Nations playoff. I keep saying playoffs. Four Nations face-off was good. The USA played Canada in one of the games, and there was like 3 fights within the first period, like the first 9 seconds of the game.
Literally 3 fights in the first 9 seconds.
Yeah, the USA won 3-1. The game was in Canada. They were booing the team, which I think for
deserved.
Playing purposes, for sports purposes, sounds really good. Makes it more competitive, gives it more meaning.
Yeah.
Like, hey, they don't like us. All right, we don't like them. Let's go out and have a thing. I would like to point out, allegedly, all the fights were staged, as in one of them said, "I'm fighting you" when the game starts, and the other guy was like, "Bet, no problem. May the best man win." So it wasn't like all hate. It was just kind of like, all right, fuck it. We're wearing our country's colors. We might as well go out with a bang, But yeah.
And
on PTI,
the brothers too. The 2 U.S. brothers. They showed like a side by side of one of their dads, or one of their dad, and like fighting in another U.S. versus Canada game, like years earlier, which was pretty cool.
All right, for sure.
Right.
But yeah, I bring this together because on PTI they were talking about it, and according to Wilbon and dang, I'm forgetting their guy's name. Gosh damn it. They said, PTI says, this is a bunch of hocus pocus junk. Because they were just like, why are we watching? Like, there was no point on watching the NBA All-Star game, considering, like how you said, it was just a bunch of random shit happening. They had Mr. Beast come out.
Yeah.
I mean, they were doing skits cool during the game.
Win 100 grand. That was cool.
No, that was cool, but it took like 9 minutes.
Yeah, it did take forever.
Yeah, so I'm glad I did not watch this. My girlfriend even asked me, I thought we were gonna watch the game. I was like, it's 3-something. I don't want to go home. I am not gonna go. I'm not in a rush to go watch that shit. And I'm glad I didn't have to see it either. But yeah, it was very interesting. Even on I think the Get Up, they had PK Subban, former hockey player, current hockey player, a hockey player. He was saying the difference is that a lot of the hockey players, although it's not like their league games, in hockey, you can skate or you can't skate. and all those guys can skate, and they're gonna do their thing on the ice. They're gonna leave it all on the ice. It's not like that in the NBA, especially if it's like a break. You're calling it an all-star break. No one wants to play or get hurt during a break.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other issue that they're having. Even in NFL, it's like, how do we make this competitive? Like, what do we do? And I think the NHL might have struck lightning in the bottle here, considering, there's no cop out on, hey, like, if you want to play, you don't want to play. But you are good. If you want to play, you are going to represent your nation's colors. So, yeah, I feel like that's what makes this really good. Especially anything nationally competitively makes for better sporting. Because then a lot of people are going to back you because you're wearing the nation's colors, Like, it's just an easy cop out to get people interested. And it gets more of the athletes more interested as well, more intrigued. Because, you want to do good. You want to make sure that everyone knows you're the top dog. So, let's see if the NBA can fix it. I don't know. What do you think, Danny?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what the NBA does. I think NBC has probably at least 1-2 tricks up their sleeve. I don't know why the NBA would give it to them otherwise. Well, I mean, obviously the money, but yeah, the inside crew, TNT, legends in the game. They've been doing it for a while. Within the last few years, it's kind of been tanking, but I mean, that's in general. All sports viewing, including the Super Bowl, have decreased. So, we'll see what they got in store. But I think at the very least, to bring it back to a competitive game, just make it a 2-team game. Like, we tried it for a year, it didn't work. Let's just bring it back to a two-team format.
Yeah, I mean, but you still have the competitive issue. Like, no one's gonna want to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I think either making it U.S. versus international or East versus West. I don't know. I don't know how else to do it because the rivals are not very split, East versus West. You could even do that. You can do a I don't know.
Just to help you out here, PTI was
Sure.
suggesting USA. They could keep this format, but do USA versus a French team versus I forgot the other one. I guess a Spanish team, and then like a full-on international Africa, European, Australian. And if they have to bring in like actual international players like that represent the US team like on a regular,
It's tougher because it's the NBA All-Star game, right? So you want all the players obviously to be within the NBA, and I just don't think there's enough players from each region playing within the NBA that would pull enough viewers, you know what I mean, to like kind of justify like dividing teams like that. I think a one-on-one, like literally make it East versus West, whatever. But even adding like a 1v1 or 2-2 or 3s format, where and like taking away the skill challenge and having that be early, will put some competition later on because if you have to 1v1, I mean, we'll see who people have to sign up for it and whatever. But let's say you have Kyrie versus I don't know, let's say Trey. And obviously one of them is gonna lose. If they're both in the All-Star game, they're gonna wanna put a little bit more juice in the game to show, hey, that was just a one-on-one. I'm still a better player. And they're gonna ask for that matchup. You know what I mean? Like something like that where you've got some skin in the game for the whole weekend too. So there's a little bit of storyline that goes on throughout the weekend. And you get a 1v1, which a lot of people have been asking for a long time. And bring back bigger stars in the dunk contest. Like, come on, let's be real. Like, that's probably the best thing to come out of the All-Star game every year, or All-Star weekend every year. The dunk contest. Mac McClung, congrats. First 3-time champ.
The problem is he's not an NBA player.
Yeah, I mean, well, he was for a hot minute, then he fell back in the G League, but
he's a G League player.
Yeah, okay, chill. He could make it up. He's still a young kid. Come on.
Not my words, PTI's words, but
okay,
logically.
Don't disrespect him like that.
I mean, it's true.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully they could fix it. I don't know. I mean, the hard part for every one of these leagues is incentivizing the players to make it competitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dan, do you have? Well, before I'm gonna have you close it out, but real quick, yeah, the NHL's Four Nations Face-Off, will conclude on February 7th. No, Thursday. Oh, I wrote that wrong. Thursday, February 20th, I believe. Wait, did I write that down wrong? No. It's the USA versus Canada. Now I gotta look it up. Final. Did I not write this down correctly? But yeah, so it's gonna be USA versus Canada in a rematch. I know I wrote it down somewhere, but why did I write down? Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, this Thursday. As of this recording, which is the 20th, right, Danny?
Yes.
Yeah. So, the USA versus Canada. You catch the game on ESPN Plus at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So yeah, don't miss out. And Danny, very quickly, because we didn't get to talk about it necessarily all from last week, because we recorded before it ended. I'll give you a minute to talk about the ramifications of the NBA trades. 3, 2, 1, go.
Jimmy Butler did not really make the Warriors better. De'Aaron Fox really made the Spurs a lot better. It is scary how good they're going to be. The Kings did not get that much better. What's another good trade?
I don't know. I know
That's
there's a
it,
few
really.
down the line.
I mean,
but what do you think about
nothing
the trade deadline era of this season?
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Butler was one that was expected, but yeah, I mean, they the surprise of the trade deadline was really Luka, and we have yet to see how that's gonna fan out. So we'll see, but yeah, I mean,
Okay.
any other trades other than that have yet to be seen. Anthony Davis being hurt
Alright, for
immediately
sure.
after.
Yep.
Kind of sucks, but anyway, we'll see.
Yeah. That was your time, sir. And yes, I am
Yeah,
correct.
my bad.
Four Nations Face-Off final, Thursday, February 20th, 5 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. And yeah, that was your warm-up. Danny, are you ready for the rundown?
Yes, sir. Let's jump it.
Let's do it. It's a lot. Once again, going through fast. Here we go. X Games. They announced that they will be live from Osaka, Japan, from June 20th to June 22nd. The world's top athletes in skateboard, BMX, and Moto X will compete at the Kyocera Dome, Osaka, for the first time. Sorry for my pronunciation. This is a continuation of X Games' 30-year legacy as the world's premier action sports competition. Really quick, off the top of my head, they will also still have X Games Sacramento this year. I believe that's in August. And Danny, the NASCAR season has finally begun.
Yeah,
and your boy, William Byron, wins Daytona 500 from Daytona International Speedway to win back-to-back years at this track. He went from 9th to 1st on the last lap as there was a wreck. Hey, a lot of people were saying it was luck. He said, "Nah, no luck. You just gotta keep your head in the race."
I mean,
but yeah, the next race will be.
Let's be real.
Wait, what happened?
And let's be real, that was lucky.
A little bit. Hey, man. Hey, he wasn't in the crash. He was on the lead lap. It ain't luck. You just gotta keep going. Keep your head up.
It's not just skill. You need a little bit of luck for championships too.
I guess so. The next race will be Sunday, February 23rd, from Hampton, Georgia, Atlanta Motor Speedway from the Am Better Health 400. Coverage of the race begins at 12 p.m. Pacific time on Fox. Also, real quick, there was like a really gnarly crash in there, like physics. Like the dude's front tires got pinched, and like he was floating like a kite. I don't know if we could. Yeah. I could show it to you after, cause yeah, it's pretty insane. Like he was okay. He got out of the car safely. He went to the medical thing, and he was okay. Moving on, we got the She Believes Cup this week as well. is the women's international soccer tournament that they've been holding since, I believe, 2015. I have a quote from their website. The She Believes organization is a movement to encourage young women and girls to reach their dreams, athletic or otherwise. The campaign was originally launched in the run-up to the 2015 Women's World Cup and has evolved into a special bond between U.S. soccer and its fans, taking a powerful message of empowerment and that of believing in yourself into communities across the nation. Other words, we wanted something for people to go to, and here it is. The 2025 She Believes Cup will take place from February 20th to the 26th and will feature the world's top-ranked U.S. women's national team, Japan, Australia, and Colombia, as the competition returns to its traditional 6-game, 3-match-day format after being played in a 4-game, 2-date format last year due to the new FIFA windows and years that featured the Olympic Games. For the U.S. women's team, they'll play Thursday, the 20th, 5 p.m. Pacific Time versus Colombia on TBS. Sunday, February 23rd, 2 p.m. Pacific Time against Australia, also on TBS. And then Wednesday, the 26th at 7:30 Pacific Time, also on TBS. Guess what? All these games are on TBS, so you can't get lost.
Surprise.
Some more soccer stuff. UEFA Champions League knockout rounds are almost done and dusted. We've had from our last recording, a few nail biters of games, of course. And then this week, as of this recording, we've already had games played on Tuesday. Feyenoord has eliminated AC Milan on aggregate 2-1. Celtic took Bayern to the last dying moments of the game, where Alphonso Davies snuck out a game winner 3-2 to give them the win on aggregate. Club Brugge defeated Atalanta 5-2 on aggregate, and then Benfica knocks out Monaco 4-3 on aggregate. And then as of this recording, we don't know who's gonna win these next games, but we got Dortmund versus Sporting, PSV versus Juventus, PSG versus Brest, and Real Madrid versus Man City. So if you're listening to this before, go watch them. If you're listening to these games after, I hope your team was victorious or succeeded. Moving on, a little more soccer. Sorry, a lot of soccer here today. CONCACAF Champions Cup is underway. I believe it goes through the 27th. For the MLS teams, as of this recording, it's Colorado versus LAFC. There was supposed to be a Sporting Kansas City Inter Miami game, but that got postponed a day due to frigid temperatures. I believe it was going to be like minus 14 degrees in Kansas City. So they were like, oh, hell no, we're not doing that. And I believe the state also called an emergency because it was so cold. And then, we have Real Salt Lake playing Herediano this week. Sounders versus Antigua. And then FC Cincinnati versus Motagua. Dang, I used to be able to say it. I don't know what happened there. And then Thursday, Saprissa versus Vancouver as well. The second legs will be played after on the February 25th, 26th, and 27th. And then the round of 16 will begin immediately after that. And one more soccer thing. CONCACAF Nations League. We are 30 days away from the Nations League finals, where we'll have Canada versus Mexico. And then that winner will play the winner of USA versus Panama. And then lastly, Danny, and our listeners here today, we are just under 40 days of the MLB's opening day. Whew. It was a lot, but we got through it. So, Danny, can you smell the fresh sod from the diamonds yet?
Yep, I'm already starting to look into some games that I might want to go to.
Yeah, same. Hey, take me with you, fool.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Hey, let's go to Japanese Heritage Site. Down?
Hey, bet.
Let's go. Alright, there it is. If y'all want to see us there, we're going to be there.
No, we'll try to make it happen. But that was it from the rundown. Danny, do you have anything else to add in the rundown today?
No, I hope you guys enjoyed a bit of a longer one today. Happy New Year. Happy Valentine's Day. Excuse me, Happy Lunar New Year. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's it from me. Make sure you catch our water breaks as we're posting them every other week when we're not recording the podcast. And thank you for listening to Rambling Runoff. If you're listening on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're on Spotify for podcasters, Amazon Music, or Apple Podcasts, please give us a follow. If you want to see more from us on social media, you can hit us up on X, aka Twitter, at RunOff, and also on Instagram as well. We're also posting a lot more on TikTok now, so go check us out there. And for funsies, we are officially on Blue Sky and Threads, so make sure you hit us up there as well. I've been your host, Robert Rios, for my co-host, Danny Tan. We will see you next time. Bye.
Peace.